Hey guys, so in my travels, come up here to visit a machine shop, and this is a machine shop that has a lot of history to it, and it's very old, and it's still being used. And out of the respect of the shop owner, I'm not going to mention who owns it or the name of the business or anything like that. He is a pretty private person, but there is a couple machines in here that he is interested in trying to find a buyer for, and we will talk about them. One of them is this Niles vertical boring machine right there behind me, a VTL. So we'll talk about that. But a quick little brief history of the shop. It was founded and started, I think it was 1886 to 1903. It was established and started as a blacksmithing shop. And from 1903 to 1905, it was then converted to a machine shop. And at that time, it was built as a line-powered machine shop. Now, all the line-powered stuff is gone, but the machines are still here, but everything was converted over to electric motor and electric power. But some of the beams are still up in here that were originally built, that all the pulleys and the line shafts were hooked to. So I'll show you some clips of that. So it's a really interesting place, and there's a lot of old cool machines in here and tools, and I'm going to walk you around and show you some of this stuff because it's so neat and interesting to see. All right, so we're going to start right here at the Niles and take a look at this. This machine was installed in 1905, and he still has the original blueprints and paperwork of this machine that was in his safe that we can take a look at. I don't know what size the chuck is, we didn't talk about that, but I got a clip of this thing running. He come over here and he turned it on, and it actually still runs and operates. But this is an original piece of equipment that was acquired for the shop and installed in 1905. In the folder, it even says 1905 on there. So this is one of the machines that he is looking for somebody to come in and purchase it from him and save it from the scrapper. So hopefully we can find a buyer for this awesome piece of machine history right here. You can see up top all the framework that was built to run this thing. You got the electric motor up there, the step pulleys that come down to it. They said that this tool holder right here was only used like one time. They always used this side right here. Very cool machine. So if anybody's interested in this, I can put you in contact with the owner of the shop and talk about it. We're going to come back to the folder on the Niles, but let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other mills in here, the equipment itself. This is something this is a tree milling head that was adapted to this old mill, and that says Ohio. Look, this is one of those PIVs, positive and infinite variable, like a Reeves drive that was set up to run this. And he had said that there are a few machines in here that bearings and drives came in the 1940s and installed to run these machines with. Got a Troy rotary table up top. This is a really cool small size vertical turret lathe right here.
of the machinery that you can't find anymore. You can see it. And it's what it looks like.
There's the motor that runs up and drives it.
I've got a book in the house that's
Right here, this is an old Brown and Sharp milling machine with another one of the PIVs, and I see link belt on there, so that's who that gearbox is made by. This one here is actually made by Prentice Tool and Supply. That's the tag on it anyway. I don't know if it's built by Prentice, but that's what the tag says there. There's the old Brown and Sharp mill. So this is a very old Leblon lathe, and this is another piece of machinery that he would be interested in selling. So it must be a 21-inch swing. It says Leblon heavy, and it still works. I like this wall right here. This is how my dad used to do it. You hang all the milling cutters up on the wall on nails. It's a great way to organize milling cutters. I wanted to do that in my shop. I don't have the wall space for it. There's some cool machines over in that bay over there we'll go to later. Really cool vise. It's a Reed 206, I believe. Yep. Abby's in here exploring and taking pictures for us.
There are little treasures everywhere.
There are.
It feels like that you've gone back into time.
Exactly, it does.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is like stepping back in time, and I know that there's some disorganization in here, but we're not going to disrespect the shop owner of this place because he let us come in here and explore, and he says that I can take some videos. So
everyone works the way they work. That's
yep.
how it is.
Yep. So like this right here, this old lathe is so that says Walcott Lathe Company, Jackson, Michigan, USA. I've never seen one of these before. It was also, it's got a gearbox installed up here that runs it, and he actually uses this. There's Keith Rucker over there. He's exploring also. So this is a cylinder that he's been working on repairing, and he had to do some welding up on this head cap and do some rethreading, and rethreaded the barrel there to fit it. And he used this old machine here and another lathe over there that we'll go and see to work on this hydraulic cylinder. That's something that he still does, is a lot of hydraulic repair. I haven't been over in this corner yet, but before we get to that one, we're going to start with this lathe here. This is another one that he would like to sell, and this is a oddity. I don't know the make offhand, but this is I think they call it a duplicator lathe. So it actually has two spindles. You can see one chuck is there, and then you got another spindle there, and you got two spindles in the tailstock. This is a very old machine. I don't see a make. We'll just have to keep looking and see if we can find a make. So there's another old big lathe. Let's see what this tag says. Hamilton Machine Tool Company. Yep, built by the Hamilton Machine Tool Company. Everything in here just about's been converted over to electric power. Long bed lathe, 4V lathe. That's kind of like the American style. Got the steady rest for it there. Keith was just pointing that out. See that big steady rest right there? He says that they built that for a big job they were doing on this big dual spindle lathe here. That's pretty cool. All right, we're gonna keep going. I got a grinding area right here, and did you see those grinding stones, Keith?
Yeah.
The grinding wheels, I mean.
Yeah.
There ain't much left.
He's not got good out of those.
Oh, here's the old key seater machine. I missed this earlier.
I think that's a Davis.
Really?
He was telling us about it last time I was here. I can't remember, but
Look at that big cutter right there.
it's,
Wow.
it's right here on the thing. It says it on right there. What does it say?
Foot Brothers.
Foot Brothers, Chicago. Yeah.
But that's on the gearbox,
Oh, that's
though.
on the gearbox. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that comes over here. Look
I
at-
wonder if
look at
that's.
these brooches up
I
here.
wonder if that is also Foot Jones. I've seen some Foot Jones gearboxes.
Maybe so.
But I don't know. I don't see it offhand. We might figure that out later, though. Okay.
I
Well,
was thinking he said it was a Davis, but maybe
very well
I'm
could
right.
be.
Look at these big brooches right here.
Yeah, I
See
saw that. That's cool. Yep. Very neat. We'll work our way back there. That's the old blacksmith shop area. Let's come around here and see what other machines so there's this hydraulic press. That's more of a late model inner pack. He's got a lathe here. It's covered up. That's a late model Enco lathe. That's an old Craftsman. There's a grinder there at the Craftsman saw. And like these old Anderson Brothers balancing wheels there, right there. So this must be one of his go-to lathes. At the pile of chips there. I've never heard of that one. C&J model GH. But he definitely likes to use this one quite a bit. All right, he's got a Rockwell behind it. And while we're over here, let's look in his old tool crib. So the owner has worked here by himself now for, he said, 9 years. He's owned it since the 70s. And at one time, this place was absolutely just full of men working all in this shop. It's got a lot of history to it. He was showing us right behind there is a Carroll dividing head. That's looking behind the old mill. Torque rotary table. But look at the old tool crib. Abby, hey, come over here. I'll get Abby to help me. There's something in here I want to show you. There's a track burner. He says he's used that a lot. So this is the tool crib. I want to show him this right here if you'll help me.
Sure.
See the wooden box?
I do.
Do you mind opening that up? There's a hook on each side there.
I see
There.
that.
Look at that. It's a Starrett mic, interchangeable. I believe it's 18 to 24 inches. Yep. Beautiful. Love finding stuff like that. All right, you can go ahead and close her up. Up on the top there, there's the Starrett badge on the top. Yeah, this was the old tool crib. Look at the shelving where they would have kept all the reamers and the drill bits and things like that. It's really cool. I apologize if the video is hard to see. It's very dark in here. But I really like that type of shelving. And he's got a lot of tools everywhere. I mean, just everywhere you look, even by the machines, he's got all the accessories laying around by the machines. Let's walk on back a little bit further. Drill bit stand. Got some heavy duty C-clamps down there. This is kind of in the middle of the welding fabricating area. big radial arm drill press. We got to go over and find out what this is. All the noise you hear is actually next door. There's a fire station over there, so all the firemen are over there hanging out. Let's go see what this is. That's the fireman next door.
It sounds like pirates.
It's it. They're over there having a good time. All right. Welding Machine. I can't tell what that says right there. The EL Welding Machinery. I don't know if that's the maker or if that's just a machinery dealer that sold it. Oh, okay, there we go. American. I was looking in the wrong place. So, American. I believe that's American Toolworks. Yeah, American Toolworks Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. That's a nice big one right there. And this is one of his daily machines that he still runs. All right, right behind it here, there's a welding area. I want to show you the welding machine in just a minute. This is an old Prentice bench vise and a little welding table that they had built up using an old faceplate. He had said that this faceplate come off of one of the very first lathes that was ever put in this shop back in 1905. I believe that lathe is gone now, but that's what that come from. All right, so this is interesting. Let's check out the welding machine. This is the one that he still uses, made by Sure-Weld, okay? But that is an identical machine to my Miller 330 ABP. I don't know the history of Sure-Weld and Miller, and I had mentioned it to him. This is the same thing that I have. He said this is a 1965 model machine, so I didn't realize they went back that far. 330, or this says 33 ABP. It's the same thing. It's the same machine as my Miller. Even has the same flip up door there. We turned it on, you can see the high frequency working inside there. Very cool. And look at the stand that it's on. I don't know what that come off of, but he says this is an original piece to the shop itself that they used to put the welder on. That's really cool. This was a neat old table that they do their welding on right here. To me it looks like a machine base, maybe like a drill press. I don't know, but that's what it looks like. And they put it on these cast iron legs. Lance found a decimal chart that he's over there eyeballing. A really nice one. There's a lot of these really old school chain falls everywhere in here. They got a big horizontal press over there. There's his bandsaw. He's got an iron worker right there. And we come out here, this is where they used to do a lot of the plate cutting. That was a plate cutter over there. That used to be a blacksmith's area over there. There was a big anvil and a power hammer back in the day, and then they ended up having to move it because of all the noise that the power hammer made. The fire station didn't like it, so they had to. That was some other outfit that was over there. This is really neat. I don't know if this is an Acorn table, but it is you know, a cast iron welding table made like an Acorn table or a weld cell. That's really cool right there. And then over here on the wall, they got another old welding machine. I didn't ask him about this. I don't know if it still works, but it's another Sure-Weld. So this looks like an older model than the one that's actually inside. But it's pretty cool. It doesn't look like this area has been actively used for a very long time. He says that over there is a very old coal forge that was handmade. That's pretty cool. He wants to keep that right there. I really like this guy right here. Look at that. It looks like a lathe faceplate. that would be a cool stand to use for blacksmithing work, welding work, anything like that. Look at the pedestal grinder, and the wheels just worn all the way down. So there's a room over here. They used to do a lot of prop work. I don't think they do it anymore, but they used to do a lot of prop work, propellers. And this was the room. This was the room that they worked on props, and they reworked and repaired props. I also want to point out this faceplate. This goes to one of the lathes over there, and then there's a big pulley right there. There's the press. All right, so here's the prop room. We have one of our residents in here hanging out. So this must have been a chair that they built up to use when they were doing the prop work, I'm assuming. So this was the prop anvil. This guy right there. I love the corner cabinet right there. Look at that. That's just cool. Another old, this is a Parker, Chase Parker vise. I'm not sure what they use that for, but that was part of the prop work, as well as all these fixtures here. This is a set of Anderson Brothers static balancing rollers. Look at the grinder on the flexible shaft right here. Look at that. An old polishing machine, buffer polisher. Another old work area over here. Looks like a dust collector. So one of the things that he had pointed out, oh, here's a Wilton vise laying down here. One of the things that he pointed out while we were in here was everywhere that was painted red, like right here. So the shop was actually outfitted with areas for acetylene. So acetylene was actually piped in from an acetylene generator that was on another section of the shop. So like over here, where they were working on the props, you can see it coming in right here, the line coming in, and then there's the torch tips. All right, so right down here, here's the torch they used to heat up the props, and they would use this vise right here or wherever they were working, and use this. They had a carbon rod in it, and they would use this for their prop repair. And you can see the gas line going up right there. That's really cool. This looks like a prop reamer, probably 3/4 to the foot, standard taper for props. This room's pretty well empty. Those wooden beams going along was the original beams that they installed in here back in 1905 to run the line shaft. So you had line shafts up there with pulleys that would come down to run all of the machines down on this side right here. All of the mills and the lathes. You can see they're all underneath that beam there. So up in the front, he's got another nice lathe that looks like he uses quite a bit. So it's a Monarch, same size that I have. It's a Model CY. It's got the lead screw reverse lever there. It's a Hobart. All right, let's go up in here. This is he's got some old machines stored up in here. So they got the I-beams built up so that they could use trolleys and chain falls to pick things up. That's a Rockwell lathe base there. Here's a tool and cutter grinder. This looks like some kind of punch press. We got another lathe there. I think that's a Rockwell. Yep, that's a Rockwell lathe. Turret lathe. And another Rockwell lathe here. This one, I'm not sure what this one is here. I believe it's one of the automatic type machines, like maybe a screw machine. And then there's one more right here. Well guys, I think that's going to be the end of the shop tour here. We want to go ahead and get on out of here and let the shop owner kind of get back to his work, because we are kind of keeping him from getting his jobs done today. But it's been really a great pleasure to be able to come in there and see a place like this. It's such full of history and how old this place is and how long it's been used and operated. And we wanted to be able to come in here and capture the history of this shop and the machines, because unfortunately the shop owner's time in this location is limited. It's in a very booming and growing area here in town, and they are wanting to acquire this piece of property, so it's kind of limited on how much longer he's going to be here. So we're hoping that maybe he can find an interesting party for the Niles, and also this big lathe here, which was the duplicator lathe, or the dual spindle, and also the big Leblon lathe. So actually I forgot to show you the folders on the Niles, so let's check that out. Here's the folder that he had found on the Niles. There's a picture of it. And the phone number says 46511 on it. But it's all the blueprints and the engineering drawings from Niles whenever they built it and installed it. And I certainly don't want to open any of this up, but you can see right here, 1905, June 30th, 1905. So cool. So you got the original documents that goes to this BTL. And then there's one more look at it right there.
How they put it in, how to build the pit for it. Shows you where to place everything.
All right guys, that's it. We're gonna head out of here. If you have interest in the big Niles or one of these big machines, send me an email and I will put you in contact with the shop owner here, and hopefully we can save these machines from being scrapped. Okay, so hope you enjoyed. We'll catch you later.